We are now in Acts 8, verses 1 and 2, and Saul approved of his execution. Here is the future Apostle Paul beginning his murderous career in the name of God. Saul went beyond approval. He applauded their actions, agreed with it wholeheartedly. He was cheering in the stands as they killed Stephen. Later he will testify that he persecuted the very church that he is now an apostle out of zeal. He will redirect this zeal and build up the church. And there arose that day a great persecution. Notice they had a persecution, okay, against the church in Jerusalem, and they were scattered throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles. Stephen's death was only the beginning. The floodgates of persecution were now open against the Christians. Saul was only one of many persecutors. Persecution began the beginning of tribulation, affliction, distress, and peril. It can bring fear or faith. Notice, we talked about tribulation earlier. Here we have a tribulation. It scattered the church first to Judea and then Samaria. So as we look at Acts chapter 1, it's carrying out the mission. So when they had come together, they asked him, Lord, will you at this time restore the kingdom of Israel? They want to know about the last time stuff. He said to them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons the Father has fixed by his own authority, but you will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. Even people today are so worried about end times that they're neglecting the here and now. The power of the Holy Spirit was to make them witnesses, not write theoretical books on the end. When are we going to get with the program, folks? The Sanhedrin didn't see the apostles as a threat. Take away their fellows and their flock, and the leaders will fail. However, they started a new church in Jerusalem. The church had grown and needed to do a mission, and the growing church will have an active missionary ministry. Gamaliel said to the Sanhedrin later, we don't know if this movement is from God or not, so we need to wait and see what happens. Verse 2, devout men buried Stephen and made a great lamentation over him. Seemingly, these Jews were horrified at Stephen's murder, and perhaps it was Luke's way of reminding us that not all Jewish people of the time were enemies of Christianity. A great lamentation refers to a typical Jewish funeral, lots of crying. The only devout men mentioned in Acts 2:5, and there were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. They were not from Jerusalem. They were from other places. Sometimes people who have come to the church have more courage than those who have been in the church for years. Where do you stand?